What's going on YouTube? General Motors has long been the king of full-size 3-row SUVs, and with the recent redesigns, their offerings are even stronger than before. They also overlap quite a bit, so many people want to know which offers the most luxury and features for the same money, the GMC Yukon Denali or the Chevy Tahoe High Country. That's what we're about to find out, so let's go ahead and get to it. Now, regardless of the badge up front, the equipment and price tags will definitely prove that these are both luxury SUVs. So starting off with the Tahoe, High Country is the highest trim level, with a starting price of $72,600 with four-wheel drive. From there, we added the hefty premium package and a couple other items, for a grand total of $80,495. Our Yukon Denali is also fully loaded with all the goodies, and in the typical GMC Chevy way, it will carry a slightly higher price tag. With the Denali Ultimate package and a couple other features to make it equivalent, our final price with destination is going to be $81,850. So let's start out with the brand new, bold exteriors. For the Yukon, GMC doubled down on all the classic and popular cues by giving the Denali a very large satin silver grille with the typical boxy shape. Tahoe also keeps with traditional design cues, and for the High Country adds some bronze accents. They both also will come with full LED headlights, though the design is of course very different between them. However, one difference to point out is the fact that LED fog lights are on the GMC only. Heading to the sides, both have large 22-inch alloys and many other designs available. And then out back, you'll find rugged and boxy looks for both of them. They have quad exhaust outlets, but the GMC has a more premium full LED taillight arrangement compared to incandescent. Now, moving past the design choices, both SUVs are loaded with features, like mirrors that heat, fold, auto-dim, and include blind spot monitoring. Talking about all the other safety systems, as you'd expect, these two will both have the full suite of expected ones, including lane keeping assist and adaptive cruise control. Next, we have the warranties, which are exactly the same, including the one free complimentary maintenance visit. And finally, I also want to mention towing, which is pretty much equal as expected. Anyway, even though the exterior comparison was pretty much equal, let's go ahead and get to the interior, where I know there are much more substantial differences. And then later, we'll take them out for a drive. So walking up to these vehicles, both are obviously going to have smart entry systems with pretty much the same key fob. Neither of them have sensors behind the door handles to unlock, and both of them have power running boards. But once you look inside, you'll see that the similarities from the exterior do not carry into the cabins. The Yukon Denali gets a totally different interior from the other versions of the Yukon, which themselves do get a cabin that's shared with the Tahoe. Both of them have special luxury upgrades, with the Tahoe getting an exclusive mocha leather cabin, and the Denali getting jet black wide grain leather. The seats themselves are both 12-way power adjusting, heated, and ventilated. Now, beyond the seats, both interiors have luxurious materials. However, the Yukon is definitely closer to Escalade level. It has beautifully crafted details, with leather across the upper dash and door trim, open pore wood throughout the middle, and then real aluminum below. The Tahoe's cabin is also nice, but it lacks the same attention to detail, since it doesn't have real wood or aluminum pieces. After startup, you'll see very similar setups that have a 7-inch multi-function display in between two analog gauges. In addition to that, both of them have very large head-up displays. And of course, it pretty much goes without saying that both of them have heated, leather-wrapped steering wheels with power adjustment. It also pretty much goes without saying that big SUVs like these have plenty of storage. They share the same storage areas under the center console and tunnel, with the only difference being that the GMC's is covered. Both of them can option on the sliding center console, though we don't have them. Now all that storage is made possible by electronic push-button shifters mounted high and out of the way. They are obviously the same, as are the excellent 360-degree camera systems that pop up when you shift into reverse. Alrighty, so now that brings us to the audio systems. So let's go ahead and take a seat. Both of them have Bose sound systems, but the advantage here goes to the Yukon with its extra 4 speakers. And now let's return to the infotainment screens. They don't look very similar, but they actually are, since they are the same size and running the same General Motors software. The features are also the same, with navigation and wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay abilities. Finally, ending the front part, both have rear camera mirrors and panoramic roofs. Now as we move to the rear areas, we are again going to find a lot of similarities, since they do share the same platform after all. Both have large improvements in leg and headroom over the outgoing generations. The features are also largely the same, both having their own climate controls, rear heated seats, and lots of connections for devices. Both also have dual rear seat entertainment systems. The third row is the same as the second, with huge gains in legroom and comfort thanks to the switch to an independent rear suspension. And then again, we get to the cargo areas, where they are the same, and a lot larger than the outgoing models. Both of them will also have power folding third rows. Okay, so that is it for the interiors. So now let's take them out on the road and see if there are more differences there. So powertrain-wise, these two have the same setup, which is also shared with the Cadillac Escalade. That is a large 6.2-liter V8, making 420 horsepower and 460 pound-feet of torque, and paired with a 10-speed automatic transmission with 4-wheel drive. That makes both of them quite fast, especially for something so big. Quick as that, you're up to 60 miles per hour. So of course, if you know anything about the Yukon, you can pretty much assume we have a big burly V8 on board, and we do. This is the 6.2 liter V8, 420 horsepower, 460 pound-feet of torque. This is going to be the same engine as what you get with the Escalade, and it is upgraded from the 5.3 liter V8 you get on the other versions of the Yukon.
Yeah, and I mean, there are no complaints about this engine at all. It sounds so good. It's really powerful. It's honestly kind of crazy that you can get something this big to move like this. So I love this engine.
As far as the ride, both of them have magnetic ride control, which works wonders. They can also get air suspensions, though the examples in this video do not have that feature. The other thing I notice is just your ride when you're going down the road here. So with the Denali, we get the standard magnetic ride control. Really smooth ride, really, gets out the imperfections and stuff like that. And then later on, you'll have the ability to get the air suspension, but this one doesn't specifically have that. Finally, as far as fuel economy is concerned, they rate the same at 16 miles per gallon combined. Now, last but not least, we have to revisit the pricing and discuss value. Since the Tahoe comes in at $1,395 cheaper than the Yukon, that means it will get a quarter point added to its score. Well guys, that's where we're going to finish up this comparison video. As you can tell, these two definitely have more in common than they have different. And at the end of the day, it will likely come down just to your personal preference. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe and also check out our other GM SUV content, including a comparison between this Yukon and the Cadillac Escalade. Thanks for joining us, and stay safe out there.